Hello everyone, welcome back to my new video. Quite some time, I'll be away for some time now, but glad I'm back. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the next thing you need to know about Amazon book publishing, Kindle publishing, and which is all about text. Okay, I know you guys may have been wondering why am I not going to the course detail, like start writing books, publishing it, and so forth and so forth, and so on and so forth. The reason why I'm taking my time painstakingly doing this is so that when we start publishing our books, you will not have to bother about what is color, what is text, and the rest. Okay, you just already know it and we get into it. Okay, so today I'm going to show you the next thing we have on our list here. We've covered some quite a number of topics on this particular series, and we've talked about the anatomy of book, best publishing books, talk about how to format your KDP book, how to format Amazon low content interior and book cover, trim size and margin, and also talk about how to know about colors. Okay, so we've talked about colors. And today in this video, we're going to talk about fundamentals of typography for Amazon KDP design. I'm talking about text. Okay, you know, in every book there's text and there's color. Okay, so we'll be talking about fundamentals of typography for Amazon KDP design. There's no way you can talk about writing a book without talking about the text. Okay, if you're writing an ebook, you should be talking about the design, which is the cover, and the interior of the book, which is the inside part of the book, and that's where you need text. Okay, but before we get into this course proper, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at this channel. This is my channel. I want you to come over to my channel and hit this subscribe button, the red button to subscribe, and smash the like button to that way you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Okay, and if you scroll down, you see this particular course where I talk about colors for your book design and book interior. You should go over that video and you'll be able to follow up with this next one, okay, which is what we'll be talking about today. So first of all, what you want to know is what is typography. Very quickly, look at this book. This is a book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know a lot of you must know about this book. But if you look at this book now, let me reduce the zoom. You will discover that the book has three elements. This is the book cover. On this book cover, you see that there is color here, and there are text there too. So what we're talking about today is not the color. I've done justice to the color in my previous video, which is this video. So I've done just to the color. We're dealing with the text of the book, which is the typography. So both your book cover and the interior of the book has text. Okay, has text. You can see. So if you get into the interior of this book now, which is the inside part, you see that there are different text there. Okay, this is what we'll be talking about today: the text, the interior part of the book. How do you know the right text to use for your book? How do you know the right format to use? And that's what we'll be talking about, okay? And how do you know when to use italics like this? How do you know when to use bold like this? And on and off like that. Also, if you go to a low content book like this one, this is the book cover, you see that it also has text. And you can see I have different forms of text here, different forms of text style. Okay, see, so we also have it here. This is it. You can see this also has text. This is a low content book. You can see that I have text on it. If you go to the interior part of the book, you can see this particular text is different from the one I have here, and this one also is different from this one. So I'm going to show you how to choose the right text to use and the one not to use. Okay, so let's not waste much of our time. Let's get into the course proper. So we'll be talking about typography, okay, and also we'll be doing the practical aspect of it. For the practical aspect of it, we'll be making use of Canva. Let's just open Canva down. Okay. While that loads, let's go back to our tutorial table of contents. So you can see now, when we talk about typography, what do we mean? What do we mean by typography? Okay. Look at these two tests. Try to read this line of text, and this one, try to read this line of text. Which one is more easy to read or more attractive to read? I guess you say the second one. You are right, because this one is kind of joined together, just tied together, no space, nothing. Okay, but if you come to the second one, there are space in between each of the words, each of the letters. Can you see that? Try to read this line of text. This one is more easier, captivating and attractive to read than this. Okay, so you can't be using text like this to be a blunder to your book. Now they say content is king, and that's right. Content is king. That has been said thousands of times over and over again. But when your content does not have a good design, it's not garner the respect it deserves. So yes, we know that content is good, but when your content does not have the proper design that it requires, like the initial one that I showed you, you can see that the two tests are actually different. In this one I show you, yeah, both has tests, but one is more captivating and interesting than the other. This second one is more interesting than this. So when your text does not have a good design, it will not garner the respect it deserves. So typography helps to give your content its voice. Because of this, it is one of many facets of design that we as book writers and authors should take time to master. You need to master the text that you use in your book. Okay, that's why I'm taking time to show you in this video. Okay, now think of good typography as a sofu. Sofu is a kind of a baked egg, and of course when you want to bake a baked egg, it doesn't come from the air. You need to use a recipe. Okay, so good book typography is a recipe of 8 essential ingredients. In other words, for your book to be a top-selling book, for the taste of your book to be top-notch, it has to have 8 essential ingredients, which are the recipe for this book. Okay, for typography or for text, I'm going to show you those 8 ingredients. Okay, now so follow this recipe and everything will go all right. Okay, so if you are ready, I am also ready. So if you are ready, let's just get into it, guys. So what is typography? That is the first thing we need to look at before we begin to look at the ingredients of typography. Typography is the art and study of arranging letter forms and words. It's not just about ensuring the readability, scannability of text or various mediums. Okay, it's also about enhancing text, context, and meaning, and breathing life into language and giving information as a soul. Can you see that? So it breathes life to the language of your book and gives your information a soul, give it the life enhancing force. So when you talk about text, it's the text that gives life to your book. Without a proper formatting of your text, your book is as good as nothing. So it's not just about writing books, designing book cover. If you don't have the right text, then your book is not going anywhere. So type design may be intimidating to many, which is correct. With terms such as leading, baseline, kerning, ascending, ascender, tail, and many more. But the good news is there are 7 basic universal typography design elements that we're going to use, and having a basic understanding of each of these elements can give your book a turnaround. Okay, and we are going to consider each of these elements one by one. So you need to have a basic understanding of these universal typography elements. Now the first one is typeface. When we talk about typeface, what do we mean? Typeface is simply the font that you are using for your book. You're talking about the font that you are using for your book, and there are 3 basic categories of typeface. I think I should just be showing you the practical aspect of it. Okay, let's open this one. Let me Okay, let me open my project. So as I'm telling you the theoretical part of it, I'm also showing you the practical aspect of it. Okay, so guys, let's do the practical aspect of it. I said typeface is simply the font that you're going to use for your book. And if you come over to Canva, let's say for example, this is our book cover. We have a book cover here already. We want to go to the interior of the book. This particular book is about weight loss tracker. Okay, weight loss tracker. And now let's say you've gotten your book cover. You need the interior of your book. How do you go about the test? So that's what we're going to look at here. So let's say for example, I have the cover already. Now I want to start adding text to my book. This is the page where I'll be adding text. Okay, this is the next page where I'll be adding text. And now what to do now is to go to text on Canva. You want to add text to this particular page. Once you are there, click on add the subheading. So now let's just copy from this article. So let's say I want to have a heading 21 tips for weight loss that actually work. Copy that. So we have it here. So now when we talk about typeface, like I said, it's talking about the fonts that you are using. Okay, so for this you're going to come over here. You can see there are different fonts on Canva, though some are paid, some are free. So we have different type of fonts on Canva. And if I should click on any one now, okay, this one is paid, you can see it has changed. Or if I should click on this, it will change. If I click on this, it will change. Okay, so those are fonts that we use. Those are typeface that you use for your book. So for this particular article, this is just a normal bold font. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to use your font. Okay, now there are three basic categories of typefaces. You have the serif, you have the sans serif, and you have the decorative. So what is serif and what is sans serif? Okay, that's what we'll be looking at next. So when we talk about serif, look at this particularly. Serif, look at this particular fonts. You say notice the embellishment and the lines on the serif font circled in red. Can you see this particular circle? This circle is what makes it serif. Those are actually called serifs, hence the name of the font category sans means without. So sans serif means without all this embellishment. Serif comes with embellishment. So any font that you see that gives your text an embellishment like this is a serif font. While the one that does not have any embellishment like this is called sans serif. So all fonts without serifs are called sans serif. While decorative fonts have such that doesn't really fit strictly into either serif or sans serif, but they are mostly used for decorative, creative, for titles. Okay, so if you want a font for your title, it's better you use decorative fonts because they are not actually fit for interior of your book. So you use decorative for the title of your book, while you use serif and sans serif for the interior. Okay, so let's proceed. So how do you select the right typeface for your book? How do you select the right typeface for your book? Let me just continue with this so we can move on time. A good rule of thumb is to use a maximum of 3 fonts in a given design project, and 2 is even better. So maximum you use 3, but if you can use 2, it's even okay, better. It keeps your design uncluttered and simple. So it's better you pair your serif font with sans serif font, such as putting the main body text in a serif font and putting your title in a sans serif font, okay, or vice versa. So you use your serif for the interior of your book and use sans serif for the title of your book, okay, of your title, maybe the title like chapter 1, then the title of that chapter 1, you put it there. Why you use decorative font minimally and almost never for main body text? So you don't use decorative font for the interior of your book, you use it for the title of your book. You use it for the title of your book. Let me show you. For example, this part, this one, this is decorative. This is decorative fonts. Let me go. Can you see that this is decorative font? This particular rich dad, poor dad. This is a decorative font. So this font is a decorative font. So you don't use this one for the interior of your book. You use it mainly for the title of your book. Okay, this is a decorative font that you use for the title of your book. Is that taken? Why you use the sans serif or serif for the body of your book, which is the text? Okay, so we've gotten this right. Now the next one is, now look at this. We are talking about how to select the right font for your typeface for your book design. Now look at this. Good pairing. Serif as the header, which is this serif, and serif for the interior, which is the body text of your book. So for this particular example illustration, we use serif as the header, while sans serif for the body of the book. So you can see the example I gave here. One has an embellishment, one does not have an embellishment. Serif has an embellishment. So that's how to know serif. This one, you can see that it has an embellishment, the R has an embellishment, but this particular one does not have an embellishment. So this one is a serif font, while this one is a sans serif font. And that one is this. So this is vice versa. You can also use sans serif for the header and serif for the body of the content. Then this and that good pairing, you can use decorative. You can see this decorative looks like an italics. You can use decorative for the header and sans serif for the body. Or you can use, this one is a bad pairing because this one is decorative for the header and also decorative for the body, for the main text. This is a bad design. This is a bad pairing. You can use decorative for the header and use decorative for the interior. In fact, I advise you that you use decorative for the header alone. Don't use for the body. If you need a font for your body, use serif and sans serif, either of the two, for the body of your book. Don't use decorative for the body because it will be difficult for your readers to read it. So it's better you use decorative for heading, then use sans serif or serif for the body. All right, I believe you get that. So we can proceed now. The next element on our list is hierarchy. Hierarchy is one of the main roles of hierarchy is to keep your ideas organized so that viewers can always identify which category of information they are reading. A typical example would be a website where the title of the site is at the top of the page, like this one that I opened. You can see that the title of the text is on the top of the page and is bold and large. Okay, is bold and large in a larger header, while main navigation pages within the website are listed below the header in a smaller font. Can you see that? So you use the hierarchy. The bigger one comes as the heading, while the smaller font comes as the body of the text. You don't use small font as the heading of your article. It will not be attractive. Readers will not be able to differentiate what the header is and what the body of the text is. So when you are writing your ebook like this is an ebook. When you're writing an ebook like this, let me go to the first table of content. You can see that the hierarchy, in the hierarchy here, the heading is bold and large, while the main body is smaller text. This is how a normal font should be. This is a good hierarchy. You have the bold one first, followed by a smaller bold, then followed by the main text of the book. All right, so that's how hierarchy works. The bolder one first, the bolder one first. Then if you go to the article proper, you see that the main body is has a low or text. Okay, so this is a good example. Let me increase this. You can see this is an example of a design that lacks hierarchy. Why? Because both the heading of the design and the body of the design, they are just the same. It's not bold. The heading is not bold. So this is a bad design. Website design. Okay. Then if you look at this one, if you look at this one, this is a good design because the heading the heading is bold and big. The heading is bold and big. And if you scroll down, the body is small. And if you also look at this bread, the bread is also bold, while the main text is small. So this is a good design. This is a good website design. All right. So that's how hierarchy works. The bold one first. Now the next one is contrast. How do you deal with your contrast? Contrast simply means makes text interesting that can help you communicate with which ideas you want to emphasize. Various size, typeface, weight, color, style can give your design a big impact as well as make your ideas organized. So look at this particular design now. You can see that this has a lot of contrast and makes a good impact. There's a smaller one here and there's a large one here. So this is a good contrast. But this one just the same contrast. This one is low contrast and just boring. The two small are just there. But this one is small, this one is big, and this one is italics. So this contrast is quite good. So if you go to this website again, you can see that. Let me see. Okay, this is a good contrast. This one is big, while this one is small. And you can see that we also have an italics here, just to emphasize what the author is talking about. This is a good contrast. Big, small, and italics. Big, bold, small, and italics. So it makes the write-up to be more attracting. So your ebook also should have contrast. For example, this one, you can see the introduction is small. This is a very good contrast. The title of the book or the chapter is big. Then we have some headings here, which is italics, to make it more attractive. So this is a very good contrast. And the interior, the main body of the text is small. So these are just an excellent contrast. So you just mix this up. You have a small one here, you have a bold and big one here, you have an italic that is bold here, but you have a small one here. So this is a very nice contrast, unlike what we have here. Okay. All right. So the next one is, I just have to go fast, is consistency. Consistency is a key principle for all typography. Consistent fonts are especially important for all typography, especially using too many fonts can lead to a confusing and messy look. So always use the same font styling for the same information. Decide on the hierarchy of styles and stick to it. Even though you may have many levels of hierarchy, you should keep to an overall theme for the design. All right. So this is an example. You can see. Let me see. Let me bolding this. You see what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is chapter 1. This is chapter 1. You can see this chapter 1 as the is bold. The next text is in italics, and the body of the text is the same thing. They are using sans serif for this body of text, and they use decorative for the chapter 1, and they also use sans serif for the subheading. So you can see that they maintain the same consistency, the same font throughout this chapter 1. Why this particular chapter? This is a very bad design because this one is not at the middle, it's not left, it's not right. If you look at this chapter 1 here, this one is by the left margin, and this one is also by the left margin, while this one is justified. But here, this one is not at the middle, it's at the left, it's not at the right, and even the subheading is not it's at the middle, but there's no consistency here. That's what I'm trying to point out. I can even see that the main body of the text is not justified. You can see that it's not very justified. So consistency matters a lot in your book. When you're writing your book, it matters. Use the same font for your books. Use the same margin for your text, and don't just mix this up. It says the chapter 1 page above has a pleasing design with only 2 font faces, 2 colors, and 3 font sizes. Can you see that? Just 2 colors, red and black, and that's 2 front faces, which is decorative and sans serif. It also has 3 font sizes, which is this one, and this one. But when you get to chapter 2, okay, so you can see it also have the same hierarchy. This one is big, this one is a little big and bold, while this one is small. So you can see the hierarchy: big, big, smaller, smallest. Can you see that? Big, biggest, smaller, smallest. So that is the hierarchy. The big one will come first, followed by the smaller one, followed by the smallest. So the chapter 1 follows this principle of text. All of the text is left aligned except the page number. You can see that everything is left aligned except this page number, which is at the middle. Okay, provided clean consistent lines. However, on the chapter 2, there are 4 different font sizes faces, which is correct. You have the decorative, you have the sans serif, you have the serif, and you have the sans serif. This is not good. This is not good. Then 4 colors: red, green, black, purple. This is not a good text design. The color are too much. You have to be consistent. This one has just 2 colors and it looks cool. So consistency matters in your text design. Okay, don't just pack different colors, different text sizes on your book. It will disfigure your book. Then 4 colors, 4 font sizes. Each element has a different alignment, which I've talked about before. This one is not at the left, it's not at the right, it's not at the middle. This one is not the same thing with this one. This one is not justified. This one is at the middle. Oh, this is just rubbish. It's not good enough. All of this creates a messy, unattractive design. So you need to make sure that you follow consistency. Then alignment is the 5th element that we need to talk about. Alignment refers to the line that the text orients towards. The text that the text oriented towards. It can apply to a whole body of text, individual words, or even images. Alignment should be as consistent as possible. Every element of your design is made to align to one of the other elements in some way to create equal sizes and distances between each object. Ruler tool is the best way to keep track of aligning images, shapes, lines, and text. So you can use your ruler to properly align your text. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so just imagine I have this particular text and my alignment look like this. My alignment looks something like this. Let me see. This one is at the middle, and this one is at the middle. How do you see this text? It's just messed up. Can you see that? This text is not good. This is not a nice text alignment. All of this is supposed to be on the same right angle, left angle. So for you to properly align this text, it's better let me insert. So to properly align this text, I can make sure that my text is like this. Can you see that? So you can use your ruler to align your text and make sure that it's in place. So you can then justify this. Let me use left, then justify. So this the text now make more sense here. Then you can use your ruler to align, properly align what you already have there. Uh, to properly align, so you can see that it's making more sense now compared to what we have before. So that's what alignment, your text need to be well aligned. That's what we are talking about here. Many amateur designers make the mistake of overusing center alignment. It is tempting but can be messy and look unbalanced. Left alignment is usually the best choice, and right alignment can also be interesting. However, avoid using right alignment for body text. You can use right alignment for the title of the heading of the book. Why you use right why you use left and center alignment for the main text. Okay, so you can see this is an example here. All right, so the next one is white space. White space is talking about the space between the heading of your text and the main body of the text. White space refers to the empty space around objects or text and can take the form of margins, padding, or just an uncluttered area. It creates a pleasing visual experience and can draw attention to text. So you can see between this heading and this place, there's a white space. Okay, so white space will give your book more meaning. If you look at this book here, there's a space between this one and this one. Okay, so you can see that there's a space between the two. All right, so let's proceed. So white space gives your book more meaning. We're still going to practicalize all this. So you can see. So body your text, coloring your text is not just the only way to give your book eye catching from your readers. If you give it some white space like this one now, you can see that it's even more eye catching than using colors and when it cluster together like this. So you learn to give your text a white space between the heading and the main body. So the next one is color. You can color your text is allowed. It can set the mode for your design and get it right, and get it can make your text stand out. So we have different types, main components of color. We have the hue, which is the shade of color. You can see it here. We have the saturation, which is this. We have the value, which is this. Now, to contrast hue and saturation in a way that make sure that you contrast these three in a way that make your text easy to read. A good way to tell if your colors have enough contrast is to view your design in grayscale, and if it doesn't look good, you may need to tweak values. Notice how the text on the right become almost invisible when in grayscale, while the image on the left still looks great. Let's look at it. This is it. You can see when you put your tests, when you add color to your text and you put it on a background and you dim it, the text on the grayscale will appear, it will still appear good like this one, while the one on the color will not appear good. So when you use color like this, you know that this is not a good text color, while this one is a good text because it is still very readable. So this one, when you contrast it, it will appear like this, but when you contrast this one, it will appear like this. So this one is more favorable than this. So using this color like this will make it look unreadable to your readers. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to talk about here. But you cannot put your text on a black background because it's not be easy to read. It's not easy to read as dark text on a light background like this. So when you put a dark text, a black text on a white background, it's more easy to read than when you put your white text on a dark background. This one is very hard to read, but this one is more easy to read. Okay, so I have a final word here. When making any design, ask yourself these three questions. It will help you to record the affirmation guidelines and principles which we have talked about in this video. First of all, is my text readable? Is my styling consistent? Does my styling use contrast? That are the questions you need to ask yourself. Do you follow the hierarchy that we've talked about in this video? Do you follow the contrast that we've talked about? Do you use the right color for your text? Do you use the principle of white space? Do you follow the proper alignment that I showed you here? Okay, these are some of the questions you need to look at. Then going up, is your font consistent? Like this that we talk about, is it consistent? Like this chapter 1, that's some of the things you need to look about. Is the contrast okay? Do you have small and large like this, small, large like this? Is the hierarchy the same? So this is what you need to consider when writing your book. So guys, this is where I'm going to end today's course on typography. I hope you have learned one or two things from this video. If you still want more information, I can quickly do a kind of a practical of what I'm talking about. You can see this particular text is not a good one, but this is our title. So it's better you use a decorative font for this. Like I said before, let's use this. So this is a nice cash. This is a decorative font. So we want to use this one. Then going to further to your text, you can again copy. Now we want to look at hierarchy. So you can again copy this, which is the heading of your book or the title of your book. Then come over here, paste it there. So once you paste it, you can drag it up because this is not the heading again. So here you can see that the size is actually small. So you want to increase the font size. Then you want to broaden it. Going about with hierarchy. Now you can decide to use sans serif here or use serif. Let me search for. So you can decide to use sans serif. It's loading. Let me see. So you can see it knows that sans serif. So let's use this. So this sans serif now. If you use sans serif, then you now go to the body of your text. Let's go back again. It says over the years you have probably, let's copy this. This will be the body of our text. Or if you have a subheading, you can also add it. You can add a subheading like what they have here. You can come over here. No. Add subheading. So if you have that, you can reduce the size. You can make it italics and bold. So this will be our subheading. You can see that my book is taking shape and it's making more sense. Then you can also add, just like what they have here, you can add a line in between here to show that this is the subheading. Okay. So you can see that you can also add a text like this, something like intro. No, the body, the interior of our book is taking shape. So this is the introduction. This is the heading, the subheading. So I use a sans serif here. I use a sans serif here. Then going forward, you can now begin to add text to your book. I just copy this and bring it to our text. So we add a little body text here. So you can just have something like this. So looking at it, our book is almost is going in fine now. So you can increase it, you can drag it up. Then you can also, what you can do here is you can change the alignment. You can make it center right. So you can see that this one does not look cool. This alignment does not look cool. So let's use another one. This one look better because it's center. Or you can still use something like this. Okay, the center one is just fine now. Okay, so this is actually what we have. It's what we, but it's not good to bolding it. You can change the color to black. All right, so basically this is how to format your text. Okay, then and that you can do is to change the color. You can try to change this color. Let's say something like red. Can you see that? So it's possible for your text to have color like this, something like this. And if you want to give it more voice, you can just say, you can highlight the particular one you want. You can say this, then you can add color to it. You can give it a color like yellow. Oh, it's not loud. And you can give it something like green. Okay, so you can see that this shading or watered now stand out among this text. So basically that's how to arrange your text. And you can see that there's hierarchy here. There's this one is big. I will make it more bigger. This one is big than this one, and this one is also smaller. And there's color here. So this text just makes sense. So there's consistency. Only you have three colors here. There's hierarchy. There's we usually serif. I mean sans serif. Only sans serif on this text. So you can see that the font size is just 1 and the color is just 2. So guys, that's how to go with your text for your ebook. Just follow what I've taught in this slide. You can pause the video and go over it again to learn how to properly use text for your book. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to come to my channel, to smash that like button. To, like I said, come to my channel, smash the like button, and to subscribe. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. Next video I'll be showing you how to write your ebook, how to format it, how to upload it to Amazon Kindle store. Okay, that's what we'll be looking at next. So you don't want to miss that episode of this video. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you not miss it. You will be notified when I upload my next video. Till then guys, bye for now.